Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, welcome to the family. In this video, we're going to be talking about 10 biblical places that actually still exist. So let's get right into it. Number 10, Haran. When Abram was traveling with his father Terah, they were going to go into Canaan. But God told Abram to stay in Haran while he made plans for him. While there, he built an altar to God and called on God's name. And so that tells us that the place where Abram built an altar to God is still there today. And the archaeological record shows that the site was inhabited during the time of Abraham. This place is located near modern-day Urfa in Turkey. No. 9. Beersheba. In Genesis chapter 26, we read about Isaac digging a well in Beersheba, and the Bible says that the place is named Beersheba because it was there that Isaac dug the well. This place is still there today, as it is mentioned in writings by Jewish historian Josephus and in writings from early Christians like the author of Hebrews. It is now known as Beer-Sheba, or Beersheba in modern Hebrew. This place is located in southern Israel, not too far from the Gaza Strip. Number 8. Salem. In Psalm 76, verse 2, we read about Salem being a king's dwelling place. That Salem is believed to be Jerusalem, which means that the Bible mentions Jerusalem by another name, even though it had not yet been renamed at this point. The word Salem appears again in the book of Hezekiah, but later it is clearly identified as Jerusalem. We can see this in verse 4, when it says that the singers will go on from Salem, which must mean Jerusalem, to Zion, which is also another name for Jerusalem. Salem is believed to have been the home of Melchizedek, who gave bread and wine to Abram after he defeated the kings in the valley. We read about this in Genesis chapter 14, verses 18 to 19. There it says that Abram gave him a tenth of everything as a gift or a tithe. As a result, Melchizedek is sometimes called the first person to pay tithe. The place Salem is located in modern-day Jerusalem. Number 7, Shechem. When Joseph's family came to Egypt, they settled in a place called Shechem. They stayed there for about 7 years before they moved to Goshen. It says in Genesis chapter 47, verse 11, "And Joseph settled his father and his brothers in the land of Egypt, in the best part of which was the land of Shechem. And they dwelt there in peace." In modern-day Arabic, this place is known as Tel El Marna, or the Mound of the Tombs. Excavations at this location have uncovered traces of human habitation from the time of ancient Egypt, all the way through the Byzantine period. Scholars believe that Joseph's bones were buried here, as well as many other biblical figures such as Achan, the man who stole the devoted things, and the woman at the well, whom Jesus talked to. Number 6, Dothan. After Joseph was taken out of prison, he was appointed over all the land of Egypt. And it says that he went up to see his father and his family, and that he brought them from the land of Canaan to the land of Egypt. It says in Genesis chapter 47, verse 6, that they came to him in Egypt, and he brought them near Pharaoh, and he said, "My father and my brothers have come to me." And Pharaoh said to them, "Give them land to dwell in, the best land of your domain." And Joseph settled them in the land of Botan. Dothan today is Al-Arish, located about 30 kilometers south of Tel Aviv. Archaeologists have found evidence of a city wall, as well as objects that date back to the time of Joshua and the conquest of Canaan. Some scholars believe that this is the place where Joseph brought his family to settle, while others believe it was located somewhere else. Number 5, Ashen. In Exodus 17:8-16, we read that Israel came against Amalek in Rephidim. Some believe that these two places may have been the same place, since some names contain multiple sites. It says in verse 16, "And Israel camped at Rephidim, and Amalek came and fought against Israel." Moses said to Joshua, "Choose for us some experienced men and go out, fight with Amalek." This is the first mention of a battle between Israel and Amalek, and it foreshadows a battle that happens later between Israel and Amalek. Before that happens, however, God speaks to Moses in Exodus 18:17 and tells him to make a bronze serpent and put it on a pole. Then whoever is bitten will live. This is what happened when Israel complained about their food, and God sent poisonous serpents among them, causing many of them to die. So when someone looked at the bronze snake on a pole, they would live. Later, King Hezekiah does something similar when the people of Judah have revolted against him, and God sends an angel to punish them. The angel is about to destroy 185,000, but Hezekiah prays for mercy for the people, and God listens and does not fully carry out his judgment. In Isaiah 38, verses 14-15, Hezekiah prays, "Remember, Lord, how I have walked before you in faithfulness and with a whole heart, doing what is good in your sight." And Hezekiah prayed to the Lord on behalf of those who had rebelled against him, and the Lord listened to him and did not bring the calamity to pass. This is why Ashan is also considered a type of salvation. No, 4. Horeb. When Moses led Israel out of Egypt, they traveled to Mount Horeb, where God spoke to Moses from the bush. In Exodus 3:1, it says that Moses was tending sheep in the wilderness of Midian, and he led them to the mountain of God, even the mountain of Sinai, Horeb. Here Moses saw the bush that was on fire, but not consumed. That's when God called him and commissioned him to lead the Israelites out of slavery in Egypt. In Exodus 19:2, God said to Moses, "And I want you to come to me on the mountain and be with me there, so that I may give you the tablets of stone and the law and the commands that man shall observe." And sure enough, God gave the 10 Commandments to Moses here. No 3 Ziph. In Judges 12:11, we read about Gideon's death. It says that he died for the Israelites and was buried in the tomb of his father in Ophrah, in the territory of Manasseh. And some scholars believe that this place, Ophrah, is the same place as Esh Shunah, which is called Sephora in English. This place is believed to be located in northern Samaria, close to the border with Lebanon. In the days of Gideon, Ephraim was one of the most powerful tribes of Israel. No 2. Gilgal. Gilgal is mentioned many times in the Old Testament. The first mention is in Joshua 4:19, where we read that when the Israelites crossed the Jordan River, they made an altar there and sacrificed burnt offerings to God. Joshua then erected 12 stones there to mark the spot where the 12 tribes of Israel had stood while the Jordan's waters were held up. It says that later, when the Midianites oppressed the Israelites, Israel cried out to God for help, and God raised up a deliverer for them named Gideon. We can see this in Judges 6, verse 1. "And the Israelites did evil in the sight of the Lord, and the Lord delivered them into the hands of the Midianites for 7 years. And the hand of Midianite oppressed the Israelites." Now the oppression took place in Galilee, which is where Gideon lived. And so the Israelites went down to Gilgal to escape their enemies. They stayed here for 7 years until God raised up Gideon to save them from the Midianites. When the Midianites were finally defeated, the Bible says that a great famine happened afterward. And so the children of Israel did what they had done before and complained to God. Once again, God then raised up a judge named Jephthah to deliver them from the oppression of the children of Ammon. One thing that is interesting about this is that he was an illegitimate child and his half-brothers tried to kill him when their father died. He escaped and set up a base of operations in the mountains and valleys around Gilgal. He built a fortress here, and from here he mustered an army and attacked the Ammonites. He won a great victory over them, but he made a vow to God that if God gave him victory, he would offer whatever comes out of his door first as a burnt offering. When he returned home after winning the battle, he saw that his daughter was the first to come out of the door, and so he offered her as a burnt offering. This is very sad and depressing. No, 1 Shiloh. In Joshua 18:1, we read that when the land was divided among the tribes of Israel, Shiloh in the hill country of Ephraim was chosen as the place where the tabernacle of God was kept. This shows us that Shiloh was an important religious center in Israel. The Bible also mentions that the sons of Israel stored the ark of God in the tabernacle at Shiloh. But later the Philistines invaded and captured the ark of God. This is what happened in 1 Samuel 4, 3-4. And the Philistines drew near to the camp of Israel. And the Israelites panicked, and the hand of God was against the camp of Israel. So they fled, and the Philistines beat them and took the ark of God, capturing it. This caused Israel to mourn for 20 years until it was recovered by a man named Caleb. However, it seems that Shiloh continued to be a religious center, since it is mentioned again in Isaiah 10:24. As for the glory of Lebanon, he shall be brought down as low as the ground. The trees of the forest shall be brought down, and the lofty cedars cut down. As a result, the ancient city of Shiloh was deserted. Today, only ruins remain. So that brings us to the end of this video. Let me know in the comment section below what your favorite place is. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with someone who needs to hear this. Don't forget to subscribe so that you never miss a video. And until next time, walk good.